The conduct of those properties is presumed to be dedicated to for religious. It has been said by Sri B.K. Mukherjee on Hindu law. Sri B.K. Mukherjee on Hindu law of religious and charitable. I do not think that anyone in India is here now. Or today in India there is anyone who understands Hindu law better than the B.K. Mukherjee. No one. He has said so in his book. Anyway, new concepts, smart mans have come like a smartphone. Therefore, everything is being done. In the case of M. Siddiqui, through Elash versus Mahanath Suresh Das, 2021 SCC page 1, it has expressly said walk up by user. Our jurisprudence recognizes the principles of walk up by user, even absent an express deed of dedication. This is being taken away. Now, long judgment I will not read. This is being taken away by this. Therefore, it hits the basic things. Clause 3, subclause 5 of the said proposed bill. The verbal declaration of walk-up has been taken away. This is contrary to the history of creating walk-up by any individual. Several properties are dedicated as walk-up by a good number of persons to be made as walk-up property. Madam, the deletion of the word either verbally or violates the right of the Muslim as protected under Article 25 and 26 of the Constitution. Therefore, it hits the basic structure of the Constitution. In Commissioner of Police versus Acharya Jagadish Abud Dutta 2004-12 SCC 770, it comes from our state. When CPM was in a power, they killed Ananda Margis. In that case, this judgment has come. The protection guaranteed under Article 25 and 26 of the Constitution is not confined to matters of doctrine of belief, but extends to act done in purpose of religion, and therefore contains a guarantee for rituals, observances, ceremonies, and mode of worship which are essential or integral part of religion. What is work then? It's an integral part of the religion. Madam, essential part of religion means the core beliefs upon which a religion is founded. Core belief of the Muslim is that Allah is there. I am dedicated my property to the Allah. Therefore, it's a waqf property. It is upon the consensus essential power practice that the superstructure of religion is built, without which religion will be no religion. Madam, nobody can say that essential part or practice of one's religion has changed from a particular date or by an event. The proposed amendment clause 3 proceeds with the assumption that waqf are riddled with the issues of mismanagement. It appears that primary basis of the assumption, very important, the very primary basis of the assumption is the quantum of pending litigation surrounding waqf. If the basis of identifying body as mismanaged in the amount of litigation that is pending against in this cannot be a rational basis of determining the standard of management of body. In fact, the Honorable High Court of Delhi in the case of Union of India, Kiran Manua, they has given the details of the pending cases. If pending cases are the ground for bringing the legislation, now I tell you the figure, statistics. In the pending civil cases in Supreme Court, 64,687. Pending criminal cases in Supreme Court, 18,235. Total pending cases, 82,922. And in waqf, all over India, 14 to 15,000 cases are pending. If it cannot be said to be a basis. Madam, Section 3A, the clause creation of clause 4, Section 3B, insertion of section that mandates that every waqf, prior to the commencement of the shall file the details of the waqf property dedicated to waqf. I have already dealt with that. Madam, the waqf board under its main statute has declared a property to be waqf in the case that the government has to challenge the same before the appropriate court of law. Oh, sorry. Madam, this is a very important, I have missed it. Now the property, government property, according to minister, the state government officer above the district magistrate will decide the issue. How it can be? How the state can be judge of its own cause? State will decide this is my property and it will be binding. And the problem is this, the moment it will be claimed, it will not be treated as a waqf property. Madam, title of the land only can be decided by the civil court, not by anybody. And this title, this land, the power which has been given to decide the land, whether it's a government land or not, that is covered by the state list under entry 18 and entry 35. That is the list 2 of the 7th schedule. Parliament has no power to legislate law in respect of that. If the Waqf Board under its main statute has declared a property to be Waqf, in this case the government has to challenge the same before the appropriate court of law. By amending this law, this cannot be done. A person cannot be judge of his own cause. It has to be gone to the civil court. It is well-known principles. Everyone knows about it, that it is a dispute on the civil law and is there. Who will decide? It will be decided by the civil court. The proviso itself indicates the predetermined mind of the government. Then the Waqf Board itself is a statutory body. 3C4. If there is any wrong writing in the records of the Waqf Board, that can be challenged by the government in accordance with law. The government cannot direct the Waqf Board to make the correction. This itself is hit by the doctrine of dictation. Madam, apart from the survey, there are currently the Honorable Supreme Court time and again reiterated. Survey records, they are mostly relying. Madam, the Honorable Supreme Court time and again reiterated that revenue records are not documents of title and they do not vest the right of ownership as a property to the individual named in the land record. Reference are so many references is there. I am not, this is an elementary thing. Any law student also know this branch of law. Unfortunately, this has not been taken care of by the central government. Clause 5E, the proposed amendment amounts to create subclause amongst the Muslims for the purpose of giving birth to give this dispute. Clause 9 of the proposed bill provides to Clause 9 is totally unacceptable and it provides 2 members appointed under the subsection shall be non-Muslim. The exclusion of Muslim community persons from holding the post of 2 members in the Waqf Board is hit by Article 14 of the Constitution of India, which provides equal opportunity to everyone. In the case of Hindu temples, the non-inclusion of Hindus cannot be imagined. We can't imagine. For example, under Section 6, subsection 2 on Uttar Pradesh Kashi Vishwanath Temple Act, it has been specifically mentioned that there are 3 eminent Hindu scholars well versed in the Hindu. A line has been set, a point has been taken. You see, these are the state law, but it is a central law. Law means within the ambit of Article 246 of the Constitution of India. Law doesn't mean beyond that 246. If a law is within the Article 246 of India, there cannot be discrimination between a state law and central law. This is kind of unthinkable stand has been taken. I cannot think about this. After long 44 years practice, I can't think. No, it's a state law. This it cannot be compared with the central law. What is that? Law is having its own force. Read Article 13 of the Constitution of India also. What is law? Madam, Clause 11 of the proposed bill seeking amendment of Section 14. That is amendment of original act suffers from same illegalities. Clause 14 of the proposed bill whereby Section 20A of the original act, that is removal of the chairperson by vote of no confidence has been deleted. Such deletion is also improper, illegal. Because if the chairperson does not enjoy the confidence of the other members, how can he sit there? It's a question of democracy. If the chairperson does not enjoy, madam, can you sit there if you don't enjoy the majority's confidence? If you cannot enjoy the majority's confidence, you have to leave. That is the democratic setup in our country. Madam, amendment of Section 36, subsection 3 is effectively taking away the power of the Waqf Board. Regarding receiving of registration of Waqf and such amendment has been empowered. The central government in an indirect manner to control everything. All powers have been taken. Why you are not making it, the Honorable Minister? The Minister of Minorities will decide everything. He will be the supreme. Nothing is required. Finished. You can do it. Clause 20 of the bill amending of Section 40 of the original act. If Section 40 is deleted, madam, the Waqf Board power itself will be teethless doll. If Section 40 is amended and Section 40 is taken away, the Waqf board will be a teethless doll only. If Section 40, then there is no necessity to keep the Waqf board itself. Do not keep it. Keep the power with the minister of the central government. Minister will decide what is the necessity of the Waqf board. Everything will be done by him. Because the power to regulate and statutory Waqf board. This is complete. Madam, I will take some time, please. Complete reason I am reading very fast. I am going very fast. Waqf board. The proposed amendment bill under clause 21 seeking amendment of section 46 of the original act once again empowers the central government to make regulations with respect to so and so. Therefore, state power has been taken away. Does it not violate the federal structure of this country? Every power of the state government has been taken away. Only central will do it. That cannot be, the violates the fundamental character of the Constitution. Clause 22, Amendment Section 47 of the Act. The proposed amendment empowers Central to call for the audit of any Waqf board by the CAG. How the CAG can make an audit? CAG can make an audit in a case of consolidated fund. CAG can make an audit in a consolidated fund under the Constitution. How CAG can make an audit beyond the consolidated fund? This is absolutely illegal and improper. Madam, Section 50, under the existing provision of the Waqf board, then comes Section 83. By the proposed amendment, the members of the tribunal has been reduced to 2 and 1 person having knowledge of Muslim law. This has been done, it has been amended. Now the tribunal to order is tribunal to High Court. Tribunal to High Court under appeal. Now it is a statutory appeal. There is no provision for condonation of delay if there is any delay is done. If a direct is a statutory appeal, you have not given any power to grant any interim relief to the persons. How can be an adequate remedy? Earlier it was there, one could have gone on Article 226 of the Constitution for a judicial review, and High Court is having the power to condone delay and also to pass an interim order. This power you have also taken away. Therefore, this provision is not an adequate remedy so far as the Waqf property is concerned. Madam, please. Madam, the High Court has not given any power. Madam, 107 and 108. I am going very fast. I am getting very fast. I am not taking even the water even. The proposed amendment has an effect on the decision to replace the survey commissioner. Then the under clause proposed section 107 of the act is deleted and thereby non-applicability of the limitation act. That is divorce. How the limitation act will be applied? If the limitation act will apply, so many disputes will come. This is the intention of the government. Open, sab khulo abhi khul do rasta. India mein chala laga do. Hindu Muslim laga do. यही तो इंटेंशन है उन लोग का. क्या होगा? This is not correct. This is completely bad. The proposed Waqf proposes significant. In Hemant Wajid sir has also criticized the concept of adverse possession as unjust, urging reforms to protect rightful property. Therefore, this is a clear attempt. This is a clear attempt on the part of the bill to curtail the right of the Muslims in our country. ये ठीक नहीं है. मैडम, हिंदू या मुस्लिम का हसद मत छेड़िए. अपनी कुर्सी के लिए जज्बात को मत छेड़िए. छेड़िए एक जंग मिलजुल कर गरीबी के खिलाफ. दोस्त मेरे मजामी लगभग में मत छेड़िए. मैडम, हम अपनी जान का दुश्मन के अपना जान कहते हैं. मोहम्मद का इस मिट्टी के हिंदुस्तान कहता है. अब तो मजहब अब कोई ऐसा भी चलाया जाए जिसमें इंसान को इंसान बनाया है. थैंक यू मैडम.
माननीय सदस्य श्री ए राजा जी.
Madam Chairperson, thank you for the opportunity given to me to express my views on behalf of the DMK party. I have received the courageous speech of Honorable Minister with rapt attention, and I wondered where he got such a courage to explore the entire cock and bull stories in the parliament. Sir, Madam, I dare to say the Honorable Minister, please go through your speeches tomorrow by text. Compile the text and do tally with the JPC report and the documents submitted with the JPC. If it tallies, I will resign from this house. You recall your memory. When you introduced this bill, you said what prompted to introduce this bill. One of the classical examples that has been given by you, the reason for this bill to be violated, when you introduced, in Tamil Nadu, in Tiruchirappalli district, entire village, running thousands of acres, were described as work property. JPC came into Tamil Nadu, the district collector came to depose evidence, and the secretary of the revenue department came to the evidence, CEO of the upward came to evidence. All three officers came to JPC, the chairman is sitting here, deposed the evidence. The cock and bull story that has been built by you and expressed by you has been demolished. In spite of the cock and bull story, no interference. Having said the cock and bull story, now we are coming at new cock and bull stories to say the parliament was given to Waqf board. Sir, madam, the irony is that the minorities' rights are going to be protected by way of this bill, where the party is having no members of parliament Muslim community. There is no Muslim MP to introduce and pilot the bill and support the cause of the bill. They are not able to produce a single member of parliament, and they are giving moral advice to us how the secularism can be protected. Madam Chairperson, today it is a remarkable day for the Indian Parliament to design our destiny, whether the country is going to travel, whether the secular country is going to travel in the path which was well beaten by the forefathers of the freedom fighters on the Constitution, or a negative path as decided by the communal forces in the country. Sir, I want to start my debate, my speech, by quoting the Tamil Nadu Assembly passed a resolution. The resolution was moved none other than the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, Mr. M.K. Stalin. The resolution unanimously passed. The stand that I quote, our stand, the Waqf bill introduced by the Parliament against minority rights, against religious freedom, unconstitutional, contrary to the purpose of Waqf, inconsistent with judicial findings, unnecessary and confusing. If passed, it will cripple the Waqf institutions and harm the Muslim community. Therefore, the Assembly urges Union Government to completely withdraw the Waqf Amendment Bill. Unquote. Madam Chairperson, is it not a paradoxical question that the political will, sovereign will of the entire country seems to be or deemed to be reflected in this house, whereas Tamil Nadu political will reflected in the state assembly is something not only inconsistent, completely diametrically opposite. This difference and diametrically opposite component is not going to be accepted by you, then there will be a question for integrity of this country. Please note it. Madam Chairperson, I want to take back the House in the year 1949, soon after the independence, when the Constitution was made, the Constitution making process was on. Of course, you will be happy that you wrote your own favorite leader, the iron man of this country, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, favorite leader of the government, they are celebrating with false claims. However, I want to put forth my views from the mouth of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, who was the chairman of the advisory committees for minorities in the Constitutional Assembly. He was the chairman. Who are all the members? President of India and President of the Assembly, Rajendra Prasad. Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, later Prime Minister. Dr. Ambedkar and Dr. Munshi. Headed by Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, the committee took a decision and a report was placed before the Constitutional Assembly. The Constitutional Assembly report was placed on 25th May 1949. He himself says, I quote, a committee of 5 persons was appointed by the advisory committee in which our revered president was also one of the members. Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, myself, Mr. Munshi and Dr. Ambedkar were the members of the committee. The committee met and made its report in February. Unquote. Finally, he placed the report and moved in the Constituent Assembly. What was his prayer when he was moving? I quote again. If they, that is Muslims, I quote, if they really have come honestly to the conclusion that in the changed conditions of this country, it is in the interest of the all to lay down real and genuine foundation of a secular state, then nothing is better for minorities than to trust the good sense and sense of the fairness of the majority and to place confidence in them. First part, unquote. Second part is very important. Again I quote. So also, it is for us to happen to be the majority to think about what the minorities feel and how they are treated. But in the long run, it would be in the interest of the all forget that there is anything like majority and minority, this country and that India, there is only one community. With these considerations, sir, I beg to move that report may be adopted, unquote. This is the voice of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel in the Constitutional Assembly. You are celebrating See, now the problem is we want to harvest the legacy of the Sardar Patel. Those who wanted the legacy of the Sardar Patel in the constitutional terms are opposing the bill. Those who wanted to erect the statue of Vallabhbhai Patel and erase the concept of Vallabhbhai Patel wanted to support this bill. That is the problem. Sir, if I am permitted to go to the genesis of the book, which was originally enacted in the year 1954. After that, the act was amended frequently 59, 64, 69. Thereafter, comprehensive amendments were made in the year 1984. My sincere question to the Treasury benches and the Honorable Minister. Right from the 1984, whenever amendments were brought in this House, there was a basis. There were deliberations. There were consultations with stakeholders, which was appointed by either by the Parliament or by the President of India or the Prime Minister of India. 1984 amendment came into existence on the basis of the report submitted by the Waqf Enquiry Committee appointed by the Government of India in the 1970 by the Parliament. So a committee was formed in the year 1970. The report was placed. After 14 years, the amendments were made. I surprised when I went through the document in 1970. What a beautiful and sensible deliberation took place in 1970. In spite of that, the protests were made against 1970. Late, it came in 1984. Madam, if at all so many recommendations were made in 1970, the 1984, the Parliament was enabled to take 2 amendments. One is for limitation, which was extended to 30 years for the work properties. The second one is the act applicable to the evacui properties. No other provisions were implemented. Not because of the protests of the Hindus, the protests of the Muslims themselves. It was fairly accepted by the Nehru and government. after that, 1995 Act came into existence. I am an antibiotic, so that I have to take. See, what I wanted to impress upon the minister and the house, whenever the amendment came into existence, on the reasonable basis, on the institutional outcome, the amendments were done. Take 1995. 1995, how the act came into existence? Sorry. In 1985, the reason statement objects a reason. Para 2, I quote, comprehensive amendments of the Waqf Act were made in the year 1984, which were based largely on the recommendation of the Waqf Inquiry Committee set up in December 70 to inquire the administration of Waqf all levels and response to a demand made by the Parliament members during the discussion of Waqf bill. Only 2 amendments. Thereafter, the demand was made by the Muslim community to have a relook, and accordingly, it was placed in the Parliament, and 1995 Act came into existence. Now again I come to 2013. 2013, on what basis? Para 2 of the reasons and objectives. The Prime Minister's High-Level Committee for Preparation of Report on Social, Economic and Educational Status of Muslim Community, in its report submitted to the Prime Minister on 17 November 2006, which is known as Sachar Committee report. So what I wanted to say, whether it is 84, whether it is 95, whether it is 2013, there were bases, there were consultations, there were consensus arrived. Then the white paper was filed to the Parliament. Then they brought the amendments. Now tell me, please tell me, on what basis this bill is being brought in house? On what basis? You can say so many stakeholders. How many stakeholders came to the JPC and substantiated our claim? Nothing. Sir, madam, all right. The way in which the bill is brought and piloted itself is something surreptitious measure. Surreptitious. Now, I am coming to the objects and reasons of the present bill. The present bill says they are admitting, para 2, based on the recommendations of the High-Level Committee, under the chairmanship of Justice Sachar, and the report of the Joint Parliamentary Committee on Waqf, the Central Waqf Council, and after having detailed consultation and other stakeholders, comprehensive amendments were made in the year 2013. Your admission, unquote. Then you start in the same paragraph, I quote, despite the amendments, please hear, despite the amendments, it has been observed that the Act still requires further improvement to effectively address issues related to the powers of the Waqf Board, registration and survey of the properties, removal of encroachment, including the definition of the Waqf. 5 components. You said, in addition to the 2013, even on the basis of the Sachar Committee report, you wanted to address 5 more components according to you, which are missing in the S12 bill, the S12 Act. Let us pursue. Now I come to your 5 pillars. I can easily demonstrate that the definition of the Waqf, it is nothing but artfully confused for the non-existence of Waqf. Removal of the encroachment, it is nothing but empowering the government to grab the Waqf property. Survey of the property, it is nothing but a mockery, because Government of India already filed an application, filed an affidavit before the Supreme Court. More than 90% survey is already over. Now you are coming for survey. Registration of Waqf, It is not at all humanly possible according to a text. I will come to that. Powers of the state boards. It becomes recreation club. I will demonstrate. Sir, as a student of law, I got anguish when see the amendments. And I challenge the minister with the due humility. Please show one improvement on these 5 heads beyond the 2013 Act. Then I will ready to salute you. You can't. You can't. On the contrary, Madam Chairperson, I have been in the parliament more than 22 years. I know the legislative business. Being a lawyer, I am well versed. But have you come across a bill is being brought to the parliament cunningly and cleverly to remove the amendments which were brought in the 1995 and 2013 after due deliberation and approved by the same parliament? If you really honest, you must repeal the 2013. You must repeal the 1995 because most of the amendments brought in 1995 in 2013 were completely removed by way of this amendment. What does it mean? What does it mean? I want to quote the quote of V.R. Krishna, a known jurist. I quote, Parliament is a great inquest of the nation, the great auditor and ombudsman of the executive, the final arbiter, policy monitor and destiny designer of the people, unquote. I dare to charge the government that this parliament is being used as a mere ventilating chamber and it has been undermined. It is nothing but an unpardonable onslaught on the constitution religion. One day you will be repent. Now, I will turn to the provisions of the bill. 5 components, definition of the work. My learned friend, including Kalyan Banerjee, everybody, even Akhilesh, my brother Akhilesh, said about the practicing Islam. Then nobody should be indulged in contrivance. Where you got all this language? I am a Hindu. I may be a believer. I may not be a believer. But when you are entrusting a property, you must measure my honesty. Whether I am honest or not. If I am a fraud, following the Hinduism is useless and nonsense. You never bother about the honesty and transparency. You are always concerned about only religion. That is the problem. Sir, I have not come across such a provision in any other law in any other country. So what has been the contrivance? How can you measure the contrivance? So, Islamic practice and I am having, please madam, I can get the time from Congress also. They accepted it. They accepted it. I am coming only definition. Then,
we could not speak in the
so see, the definition of the waqf itself, the attempt that has been made by the government, according to you are saying that not intelligent contrivance, your entire attempt, I want to say it is nothing but a diabolical contrivance. Diabolical contrivance. Then you add new sentences. What are the sentences? Section 3, 3A. What is happened in this country? Have you come across the Transfer of Property Act? Section 3A says only the real and original owner can donate the property to the waqf. What is this? Only owner can transfer. If a non-owner transferring the property is not alienated, it is invalid. It is invalid. I can spend my own money. If I am taking money from my brother, it is a stealthy. Why you are breaking such act? I am not able to understand. Then 3B.
और इसीलिए इन्होंने 4 घंटे मांग रहे थे.
Madam, it's a serious issue. Now, all these things are introduced new. Subclass 3C. Any government property identified or declared as waqf property before or after the commencement of the act shall not be deemed to the waqf property. How many lawyers in the house I didn't know? government property identified and declared as a work property. Who identified? Who declared? Who investigated? You will declare, you will identify, this property is my property and it will not deemed as work property. Of course, of course, all constitutional bodies having discretion. Justice Patanjali in 1960 said, yes, we are having judicial discretion, but judicial discretion should not be a caveman discretion. Your discretion here is caveman discretion. So, in the name of the improvement, the government attempts to defeat the concept of work and you want to snatching the entire work property in the name of the act to the government. Coming to the second, survey of the work properties and removal of the encroachment. That itself is contradictory. Survey of the property is affirmative, encroachment of the work property is negative. You wanted to club it more in one. Section 4, Madam Chairperson, survey of the property for the work in the STL Act, in the present Act, a survey commissioner has been designated, appointed by the government, independent to the government. He is not an independent government officer. So when dispute comes to the government and the work board, the independent officer must follow the civil procedure code to investigate the title and come to a conclusion. He is a civil court. Now, survey commissioner has been replaced with the district collector. My honest question is, any dispute between the work board and the government, how a collector can be a judge? You know the principle of natural justice. No one can be a judge for his own cause. Same collector is sitting and he is deciding who is the owner of the property. Unknown to the law, unknown to the criminal jurisprudence, unknown to the entire legal fraternity. How collector can investigate? Then this bill want to revisit the encroachment. Survey is over, now encroachment. Please hear me. You said you wanted to revisit the enforcement according to recent object. Section 54 deals with encroachment. Please see your bill. Any small attempt? Did you change a full stop and comma? Did you change a single letter in 54? You did not change anything. But you are claiming in the recent object that we wanted to revisit in the bill. On the contrary, what you did it, as my friend put it, 52A, you wanted to make very stringent laws to protect the minorities of the country. The SOL Act says, the present Act says, rigorous imprisonment and penalty. You are saying that it is simple regressment. Simple imprisonment. And the offence committed in the work part presently is cognizable and non-bailable. You are making it bailable. I want to recall the Bilkis Banu. The same thing is happened here also. The next, sir, then tribunals. In 1995 and 2013, Madam Chairperson, as a student of law again saying, the creation of tribunal itself, we want to segregate the lengthy process of the judicial process in the civil court and high court and supreme court. That is why we are having so many tribunals. Telecom tribunal is there, income tax tribunal is there. Why? There were a lot of cases in the civil court, district municipal court, subordinate court, then district court, then high court. So such a simple and peculiar matter should be referred to the specific court for which the constitution permits you constitute a tribunal. You constitute a tribunal and very clearly said tribunal decision is final. Why it is final? Already survey commissioner has been conferred with the civil court. He is not an individual man. He is an institution under law. He is following CPC. When he is following Civil Procedure Code and Indian Evidence Act, SOL Act, he himself is court, first court. The second court is tribunal. Third court, it is permitted in the law, on sub motu or on application, it can go to high court. Very short problem. Very short problem. But you wanted to say tribunal is not final, we will decide. What type of jurisprudence we are having? Then come to the registration. Madam, registration. 36-1. Earlier, 5 minutes. Please, 5 minutes. I will take my time. So, no. If you, yes, minister is having patience.
टाइम बढ़ाइए आप
Registration.
आपको इसमें भी जल्दबाजी करना है
Okay, tell. Registration. Come to the registration. Come to the registration. Earlier, the work property can be declared by virtue of section 36(1) as work property after the due process. What are the process? In the act itself says. Now, you want to bring 7A. What 7A says? 7A is a peculiar provision which will defeat the entire work properties. I will read, please permit me to read section 7. Huh? No, section 7. 14, 7 here. Section 7. Oh, no. No. What is removed? 7A. Sorry, Chairperson. No. 7A, now, new provision. It shall not be registered, the property shall not be registered unless the dispute is decided by competent court. The power has been entrusted to the collector. Collector will hear the matter for registration. During the registration, any dispute is found, then the final decision will not be taken. It will be decided by the court. Which court? Up to Supreme Court. Thereafter, section 10, no suit, no appeal will lie upon that. What does it mean? You wanted to say this property is not work property, go for the dispute, it will go to Supreme Court, it will take 30 years, till then this property will be deemed as government property. What does it mean? It will be deemed as a government property. What does it mean? Then come to the register. Register also completely impossible in way it was dropped. Madam Chairperson, the constitution of boards, all members have spoken about. I do not take much time. Why you are injecting non-Muslims? HRNC Act are there in each and every act. Hindu Religious Endowment Board Act are there in all states including Tamil Nadu. What happened in Tamil Nadu? In one temple, so many acres of lands were available under HRNC. Out of the income, HRNC board decided to run a arts college. Recruitments were my professors. On merit, one Muslim came. Immediately, RSS and Hindu Munnani gave a categorical statement. It is our property. Why you are accommodating a Muslim professor? Now we are saying property is something different. Religion is something different. Baba, don't teach lessons. My prayer is, our prayer is, religion is something different, politics is something different. Don't mix it. That is our prayer. If you want to save this country with integration under this secular fabric, please segregate the politics and the religion. Now I come to. No, I am concluding. Section 40. Section 40 very important. Section 40, madam. Any property of the work property converted into trust or converted into Societies Act, none other than else, by the statutory bodies of the concerned state, is a work property. If it is found by the board, then the board can initiate inquiry according to this act by way of survey and by way of the deciding title, and ultimately it comes to a conclusion it is work property. If it is not there, you leave it. Why you are removing this provision? What is the reason given to this? It was not at all deliberated in the JPC. Madam Chairperson, Madam, I am closing. Madam, 2 minutes, I am closing. Madam Chairperson, lastly, 108A, overriding power, that is the safeguard. Whatever be the special act, take it PCR Act, Prevention of Corruption, civil rights, take it SC/ST, take it dowry prohibition, whatever be the special legislation meant either by the assembly or by the parliament, such a overriding power must be there to protect the interests of the particular community.
Yes, yes.
You are removing that. At last, soon after the independence, 1 minute, I am closing it. Soon after the independence, the Prime Minister of India, soon after the independence,
Please, Mani sir.
you, one sentence I read close. Soon after the independence, Prime Minister of India used to write all the chief ministers of India, all the states. I am quoting the official record. Letter to the chief ministers by the Prime Minister. I quote, I have a great deal of evidence to show an organization which is in the nature of a private army and which is definitely proceeding the strictest Nazi lines, even following the technique of organization. The Nazi party brought Germany to ruin, and I have little doubt if these tendencies are allowed to spread and increase in India, they would do enormous injuries to India. No doubt, India would survive, but she would be grievously wounded and would take long time to recover, unquote. Who said it? Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. What is the organization? RSS.
thank you.
I want this government. Don't go along with RSS. Come to conclusion.
Madam Chairperson, I rise today to talk about the Waqf Board Amendment Bill 2025. Madam, the Muslim community in our country needs to be provided with support for their upliftment. This minority community faces economic, educational and social hardships. As per NSSO, nearly 31% of urban Muslims live below the poverty line, madam. Their average monthly per capita expenditure is among the lowest across all major religious groups. Despite constituting 14% of the population, Muslims hold a mere 4 to 5% of government jobs and less than 3% in corporate employment. Their high dropout rates in secondary and higher education adds to their struggles, preventing their upward mobility, madam. Madam, there is a need to take care of their welfare and uplift the lives of the minorities. In the light of these challenges, the presence of the vast Waqf properties valued at over 1.2 lakh crores of rupees and covering approximately 36.18 lakh acres presents an opportunity for economic and social transformation, madam. However, these properties have largely been underutilized due to administrative inefficiencies and mismanagement, and several times with malified intentions. Our party firmly believes that these resources must be used for the welfare of the Muslim community, particularly the women, the youth and the downtrodden, madam. Madam, there is a need to take care of welfare and the upliftment of the lives of the minorities. In support of this vision, we are the first party that advocated for the establishment of the Joint Parliamentary Committee. The functioning of the Joint Parliamentary Committee has been both extensive and transparent. The committee's engagement was one of the most inclusive in the entire parliamentary history. The committee engaged with 284 stakeholders, 25 state Waqf boards, 15 state governments and various ministries. A total of 97.27 lakh representatives were received, considered and discussed, madam. The deliberation spanned over 128 hours and 10 minutes. The result of this humongous exercise was the 944-page report and a revised bill with 14 amendments. Among these, our party, Telugu Desam Party, suggested 3 important amendments to ensure the welfare of Muslims. One crucial amendment ensured the prospective application of the Waqf by user clause. This means that all existing Waqf properties registered under this provision will remain protected even without a Waqf deed. By ensuring this amendment, the TDP safeguarded the interest of the Muslim community and ensured that their properties shall remain intact. Our property, madam, also played a pivotal role in strengthening state authority regarding disputes over wrongful claims by the Waqf boards. We moved an amendment replacing the district collector with a designated officer above the rank of the collector to handle such disputes. This amendment empowered state governments to appoint a higher ranking officer, ensuring a more robust and fair and broader and larger resolution process, because we feel, madam, that there is a need to take care of the welfare and upliftment of the minorities. The TDP also proposed an amendment to extend the timeline for uploading Waqf property documents on the central portal. Originally, the bill required registration within 6 months, but recognizing practical challenges, we pushed for an extension. The JPC accepted, we are thankful, our proposal allowing the Waqf Tribunal to grant extensions in selected cases where valid reasons for delay exist. This ensures that all Waqf properties have sufficient time for proper registration. All this, madam, we do because we still feel that there is a need to take care of welfare and upliftment of the lives of the minorities. The TDP has put in effort to safeguard the Muslim interest and ensure their welfare. The YSRCP has merely played politics instead of working for the true development of the minorities in the state. Their representative on the JPC has attended just 18 of the 38 JPC meetings, whereas our party has attended close to 90% of the meetings to protect the rights of the minorities. They have treated Muslims as nothing more than a word bank, while we see them as an integral community that deserves protection and upliftment. The TDP's role in shaping this bill shows our commitment for Muslim and minority welfare. Ensuring the welfare of minorities has always been the top priority since the formation of our party, madam. Under the leadership of our founder, Sri N.T. Ramarao Garu, in 1985, TDP established Minorities Finance Corporation, the first of its kind in India to provide financial assistance and business opportunities to Muslims. Under the visionary leadership of Sri Chandrababu Naidu Garu, welfare, upliftment, empowerment for the minorities has always remained a priority for the Telugu Desam Party. Madam, on 25 July 2002, Dr. APJ Kalam was sworn in as the 11th President of India. Please recall that our Honorable Chief Minister, Sri Nara Chandrababu Naidu, proposed his name. Again, ma'am, in 1991, Sri Laljan Pasha Ji has been elected as Honorable Member of Parliament to this House. In 1996, TDP declared Urdu as a second official language under the leadership of CM Chandrababu Naidu ji, improving educational and administrative opportunities for Muslims. In 1998, TDP established Maulana Azad National Urdu University in Hyderabad, one more university in Kurnool. In 2001, TDP established Hajj House in Hyderabad, one more in Vijayawada, and also launched air travel facilities. We introduced Ramzan Tofa scheme, providing financial assistance to 10 lakh Muslim families annually, spending 50 to 60 crore each year. Provided monthly salaries to imams and mozams ranging from 5,000 to 10,000. Spent 4,000 crores on minority welfare programs between 2014 and 2019. Introduced the Dulhan scheme, offering financial aid of 163 crores to 32,722 brides. Started foreign education scheme, providing 10 lakh each to 500 Muslim students annually. Held job fairs distributing 113 crore scholarships to 5 lakh Muslim students. Invested 31.64 crores in post-matric scholarships for more than 39,000 Muslim students. In conclusion, Madam, why we did all this? Because we strongly believe that there is a need to take care of the welfare and upliftment of the minorities. In conclusion, the Telugu Desam Party has always stood by the welfare and upliftment of the Muslim community, ensuring their rights and development. In line with this commitment, I urge the government to consider providing flexibility to the state governments in deciding the composition of the Waqf boards. Given that Andhra Pradesh has already enacted the Andhra Pradesh Charitable and Hindu Religious Institutions Endowments Act 1987, permitting religious autonomy, providing states the power to determine composition of the Waqf boards